article that piqued my interest, given the subject matter and my exploration of joy in work. The article asserted that employees wasting time at work is a deepening problem for employers. The lost productivity resulting from disengaged or distracted employees was described as a workplace epidemic. The article referenced two surveys, one sponsored by CareerBuilder and the other by Salary.com. These surveys provided perspectives from both employers and employees on how time is spent in the workplace. Both surveys indicated that employees spend substantial time on non-work-related activities during the workday. This likely comes as no surprise if you are among the legions of people who show up to the workplace daily. As such, the premise of the article is not particularly controversial. One underlying finding is, however, very instructive. Employees are quite busy during their time in the workplace. They, while admittedly not always productively engaged in their work, are active nonetheless. This suggests the real issue is less about a widespread aversion to perspiration and more a lack of true inspiration. People are yearning for meaningful work. Let's explore what the survey says. Surveys say. The CareerBuilder survey included 2,200 hiring and human resource managers and just over 3,000 workers ages 18 and over. Participation was limited to full-time U.S. workers from the private sector. The survey revealed the top 10 contributors to wasted time in the workplace and the implications of the lower productivity. The most telling finding was that 3 of 4 employers estimated 2 or more hours a day of lost productivity due to distracted employees. Among the top distractions were texting, social media, internet browsing, emails, meetings, and good old-fashioned gossip. The wasted time turns out to be costly, with employers citing negative consequences including compromised work quality, negative client and employee relationships, and lost revenue. While the reported findings were chiefly presented from the employer perspective, the responses from the workers surveyed corroborated the general findings regarding workplace distractions. Salary.com conducted the second survey cited. The company's survey for why and how your employees are wasting time at work complemented the CareerBuilder survey, given the responses were exclusively from the employee perspective. Of the 750 workers surveyed, 89% admitted to wasting some time at work. I am, however, intrigued that 11% of respondents purportedly don't waste a single minute at work. The most striking finding was nearly 6 in 10 workers admitted to wasting 1 or more hours daily. How did they waste time, you might ask? The same way most people do. The top reported productivity inhibitors were social media, internet browsing, unproductive meetings, water cooler conversations, and returning emails. The CareerBuilder and Salary.com surveys were consistent on 2 basic findings. Workers are increasingly distracted, and the types of distractions are quite common. The survey results present a few dilemmas for employers. For starters, managers often surmise results differ among demographics. I've heard many strong opinions from managers on this topic. Managers have asserted younger professionals are more readily distracted, and female employees are more apt to socialize at work. This is where empirical findings are handy. The survey results suggest age matters little as it pertains to distractions in the workplace. The seasoned 50-year-old employee was just as likely to waste time as the spry 20-year-old employee. Single employees spent slightly more time on non-work-related activities, but the differences were not material. What about gender? Statistically, there was little difference in the findings for women and men. For the record, men reported wasting slightly more time than women in the workplace. How did employers respond to the growing distractions and adverse impact on productivity? The most common responses were to restrict the use of company resources and implement